Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about interviewers. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, Frederick, as a software engineer, do you sometimes get put off and don't try to perform your best in an interview if the interviewer seems to be indifferent to you? No, I don't really think about that so much. If I meet a rude person or someone who's indifferent to, or like who I'd like to lovingly say who have poor social skills for any reason, I usually do the only thing that I find to work really well, which is to reduce the amount of energy output that I have and reduce down the amount of talking I do to the bare minimum, because I know that if I have to do with an individual that doesn't seem to match my energy levels, or is disinterested, or even in some cases hostile, my best move is usually silence. Because the way that humans usually work is that they view in any interaction, if it's a uncomfortable interaction, they look for someone to blame, or they want to pin it on someone. They are looking for an aggressor or a cause. And anyone who has ever seen someone fight a war or people fighting or stuff like that, first question is almost always for someone is to figure out who is the dominant party, who is causing the problem. If there's someone who's like wailing on someone, that is viewed as, if someone is vastly better at fighting than the other one, then that person is viewed as the aggressor and so forth, because people are very emotional when it comes to social interactions. And I've found that when you're in such a situation, when you have an interviewer or someone who quote unquote has the influence to make a decision that affects the outcome for you, the best course of action is, as I like to say, just smile a polite smile, stay calm, and just respond appropriately without letting it face you. Staying calm, being quiet, and you will be surprised, guys, at how little talking is actually required in order to maneuver an interaction like this. It usually is the best way to deal with it. And the reason why I still try to do my best, even though that the interview is indifferent, is because if I really want the job, this is just this is just a problem that I need to deal with. That's sort of how I view it. I know that we live in times where people seem to believe that if you just go, if somebody is mistreating somebody, or somebody is this or that, and that's, how do I put this? Then you can go on social media, rant about it, and you will be justified in your beliefs. And sure, that is true to a point, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to deal with people you don't like. That's part of the human experience. And unfortunately, you can't fix every problem by going on Twitter and hashtagging. There are some people who you're going to have to deal with in a more grown-up fashion. And the way to do it, as I said, is, in my opinion at the very least, to get control of your own emotional state, because you have to understand that whether or not this person is indifferent to you is irrelevant. What matters is whether or not you're getting what you want. I actually had this conversation with a coworker of mine, one of the product owners that I was working with. So this was a while back now. He came to me for the second time. So he had been concerned that there were a few managers within the company I was working for who hadn't bought into the project that he was spearheading. And he's a very emotional guy, and he's fairly sociable and outgoing and so forth, and engaged. And so he asked me, and first time, I have this manager. I think we need to make some presentations and make it so that this person understands how valuable the stuff that we're building is. And I went, at the time I didn't know this other manager all that well, so I said, sure, I can put something together. And so what I did basically was I got in contact with this person, had an interaction, and then it kind of turns out that this person wants me to write all of this documentation or do all of this work, which was, I thought, extremely tedious, very silly, very stupid, and basically a testament to that this person doesn't actually understand. It's the classic one, right? You have a manager who doesn't understand IT. But the problem is that this person is in a position of power where now your other person or whoever you're dealing with wants you to convince this person that you know what you're doing, that you're competent. And this is a gut feeling, as I like to call it. It's a feeling situation. Feelings are very difficult to deal with because feelings are based on things that you can't really control. So I go and I spend tons of time away from the actual development, away from building real value, actually doing things that matter, etc., etc., to put together a presentation. Said and done, presentation made. Then I go and I do said presentation for said person. Where at the end of that, this person basically tells me that, oh, this was good, but you have to do this, that, like invents more stuff that, more notes, more things to do. And based on my discussion, I realized that this person wasn't actually interested in this presentation whatsoever. The whole reason I'm doing this is because the feelings of my product owner, or like the person that I was working with, that person's feeling about the situation, his gut was telling him that this was needed, so that, I don't know why, but he felt that this was necessary. So I spent all this time for no reason, trying to appease somebody else's feelings about the situation. And so I let it go. Remember now, if I lose my temper in this moment and I start criticizing and getting upset and so forth, I can only hurt the situation. I can embarrass my product owner, I can potentially lose my position, etc., etc. And at the end of the day, all that really happened was that I wasted a bunch of time of the company's time and the company's money doing something that wasn't really value building. And who's never done that before? And so after a few months, said product owner comes to me again and says, well, we're here again now and we get some doubts and so forth and so forth. This time I'm armed with more information. And so I ask, why do you want me to make another presentation? Oh, well, but because there's some doubt related to the project. And I go, are they stopping the project? No. Is there any indication whatsoever that there's some negative outcome from the fact that this person isn't, buying into the whole thing? No, but we really want this person to be behind and support us and stuff like that. But they are paying us to continue, and this person is not stopping us in any way. So it seems to me that the reason why you want me to do another presentation, because remember last time I did this, you said that this was really important and that this person was asking for it, but it turns out that they weren't really all that interested in what we had to say. So it seems to me that you are trying to make yourself feel better about the situation. And the thing is, the gut feeling or the happiness of this other manager, like this person that you are trying to appease, doesn't really matter. Why does it matter if that person believes in the thing that we believe in, yes or no? We are getting paid to deliver on things, and we can do so without that person being on board. So why are you trying to make everybody be on board? Why are you trying to get everybody in the same boat together and have everybody believe? That doesn't matter for shit. What matters is if we can continue doing the thing that is value building for us. And so he kind of looked at me and finally kind of admitted that, yeah, maybe it's more about me, and I want people to believe in the same things that we believe. And I go, yeah, who's never felt that way? But at the end of the day, that's not what's important. What's important is, are you achieving your goals? The time that it's time to do the time to take action is when somebody's standing in your way. But you can't really blame people for not believing in your vision, and spending your time trying to get every single person to feel the same way about things that you feel that's not really time well spent. Spend it on things that are going to make a difference. And so finally we reach the conclusion that we're not going to do anything. We're just going to continue. And I urge you guys to think about this the same way. If an interview is indifferent to you, or like you're not getting the like sort of, you remember the interview is a way for you to figure out if you want to work in that company or not. And if you want to work in that company and this person is being this or that, why does that matter? This is not your next, it's probably not going to be the person who's going to pay your salary or be the person that does your code review or anything like that. It's just another asshole in your life. Get past them. So what I want you to take away from this is that no, I always try to do the best that I can, regardless of if I'm dealing with someone who is an asshole to me or not. Because at the end of the day, I only ever have two choices. Either this person is misbehaving to the point where I do the thing that I believe to be the right thing, which is usually to just walk away. Because that's where true power comes from, in my opinion. The ability to act in an independent fashion, regardless of somebody else. That is true power. Being dependent on somebody is the thing that is a problem for you, because if you depend on someone who's misbehaving towards you, you have you don't have the power to walk away. You can't make your own choices. But as long as you are in a position where you can make your own choices, what the fuck does it matter how they behave or they care or how they act or so forth? You can always just walk away. You don't have to take an argument. You don't have to fight them. You don't have to do anything, because they are like mist or smoke. You just blow them away and walk away, do something else, because you don't need them. And that is the way that I try to think about these sorts of situations as well. If you're dealing with an individual, an interviewer, or whoever who is indifferent to you, etc., ask yourself, do you really want to work here? And if the answer is yes, then the best investment that you can possibly make into yourself is to get to an emotionally stable state where you just realize that, okay, this is not going to be as fun as I originally wanted it to be, but that doesn't matter because I can deal with it. Get to that state and then see this person as just another obstacle to get through. And when you pass them, they are like nothing to you. Have a great day.